Rose, and I am here with Nialah Flake-Brown. How much pressure did you feel being the daughter of Reverend Dr. Floyd Flake and Pastor Elaine Flake of Allen AME?
Wow, that's a good question. So I think, lucky for me, my parents were really, although they were prominent in the community, they never put unnecessary pressure on me to live up to other people's expectations, which is always helpful. So they really just more so encouraged me to always do my best and to pursue my dreams and my passions. And I never was made to feel like I needed to be in a particular box. And so I think the fact that, irrespective of who they were in the community, they allowed me to kind of find my own voice and find my own way. And I was really able to use um, them as role models and my inspiration and look at, the work that they did both in the church and the community as something to inspire me as opposed to put pressure on me.
When you first went to college at Spelman, did you know you wanted to work in commercial real estate?
Well, I didn't know I wanted to work in commercial real estate. I actually um, came into commercial real estate through my first job on Wall Street, which was at Morgan Stanley. And so I really just knew that I wanted to do something in business. I was an economics major, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be marketing, consulting, or finance or accounting. But I found my way to Wall Street via an internship at Morgan Stanley where I interned in investment banking. I was still in college at the time, but the experience really gave me an opportunity to see that I would have different options in business by, focusing on trying to get a job on Wall Street. And so, lucky for me, I got my first internship when I was a sophomore in college at Spelman. Um, on Wall Street, and it's really, been a perfect match ever since.
Did you know as an adolescent you wanted to go into business, or was it until when you always know that you wanted to go into business, or was it until you started your internship that on Wall Street that you knew that business was something that you wanted to pursue as a career?
So I was always good in math. I sucked at science. I didn't really like writing or anything else. So it really was a default in terms of me just recognizing that I was probably better at math than most other subjects. And so that caused me to major in economics. But again, it wasn't really until I went to school and different job opportunities were presented to me, or different companies would come on campus and do presentations, and I made sure I went to every last one of them because I wanted to make sure I heard enough about different careers to make a good decision as to what would be a good fit for me.
I know you were managing director and head of originations of commercial real estate at Morgan Stanley. Can you tell me what your job entailed?
Sure. So my job entailed um, covering clients who own real estate or develop real estate. So any owner of real estate has to finance themselves either through equity or debt. And so the group that I work for provided debt financing for owners of real estate. That's kind of the simplest way to put it. But my day to day job included literally doing analysis to analyze and value real estate and understand credit risk associated with real estate to get us comfortable with making those loans. It included covering clients. So I manage relationships with clients who we get business from. It included working with third parties in the capital markets area where we may sell off risk on different deals that we make. It included managing a team of people who also originated and managing production and making sure that we met our annual expectations in terms of our business plan and where we wanted to see the business grow every year.
Do you feel as a woman of color that you had to work harder than your male coworkers?
That is a really good question. People ask me all the time what it's like to be, a female in a male-dominated industry. I definitely will say that, most cases since I started in the business, I'm usually, either the only female or the only African American or the only, almost always the only African American female. And I think that I really appreciate my experience as a student at Spelman College, because one of the things that I do think Spelman taught me was just how to always be authentic and have my own voice. And I think the mistake a lot of people make is trying to fit into the mold that somebody creates for you, or to try to be something that you're not, to fit into a particular system. And I really just have always been myself and always been um, very authentic and true to who I am. And I think that, of course, you have to match, you have to basically be able to show that you can do the work and that you're good and you're doing the job, but you don't have to. Try to be somebody that you're not to be successful. Success will come with hard work and perseverance. And there have been times when I, have had to brush negative comments off my shoulder. But again, I think that, my upbringing, my school, my family, my friends, people have always been there to encourage me. And that's just a part of who I am. So it never fazed me to walk in the room and be, the only black, the only female, the only black female. I really kind of put my head up, and I use it as an opportunity to be different, to not be like everybody else that's in the room. And that in many cases means bringing a different perspective. And I think that that has been something that people have come to respect and really enjoy about working with me, or being my client, or being somebody to do business with.
With a very busy schedule, you are also founder and director of Intervision's Dance School. How do you balance both jobs?
Well, that is a good question. So I started Innovations during the downturn, when the last economic crisis took place. So we opened in 2008, and that was a really slow time in my business, because just given the recession and given the financial crisis, we were not as active. And I was, instead of really producing new business at the time, there was not really deals to do in the market. I was doing more asset management. And at that period of time, for the first time in my career, I kind of had a 9 to 5 job. Like growing up in investment banking, like you're 24/7. I worked on weekends, I worked on holidays, like it was 24/7. And during that period of time, it was the first time that I had a real 9 to 5 job. So I was able to use, those extra hours to start a business and get that business running in, during the years where it happened to be slow at my job. And so literally by the time the market came back, the business came back, I was, positioned as an instrumental leader in the group to help grow the business. We Innovisions had already been open for 2 or 3 years. And so, I had staff in place, volunteers in place, and really things were kind of moving on their own at the time, where I had to take a back seat to really being hands on as much as I was early on, because, my day job was back in full swing. But now it really is just when I have time, I really do make sure that I'm here for the students. I can't teach dance anymore because it's hard for me to be in the classroom. And so I've learned that a part of the balance for me is kind of sacrificing actually teaching to really be here and just be able to manage the school, work with the teachers, spend time with the kids and the parents. And really make sure that the community that I want people to feel here, and the family that I want people to feel, that that environment is something that we're able to provide for people. In addition to obviously, dance classes with, professional teachers, and giving these students an opportunity if they want to pursue dance professionally. And so for me, the balance has sometimes, means that, okay, I can't teach, but I'm here, I'm with the, with the students, with the parents, making sure that we're growing and doing what we need to do. And I'm just very thankful that I have really good help in friends, family, parents, and people who and staff members who really hold this place down, so that they know like they're not going to see me during the week because I have my day job, but I'm here every Saturday. Like I'm here, and I love waking up on Saturday mornings and coming and seeing the little kids in their pink ballet slippers and leotards and tights and little ballet skirts. And it really is what motivates me on Monday to get up and work the whole week and be back again on Saturday.
What advice would you give to young girls and teens?
Um, that is, I could go on and on with different answers to that question because I think that young women need so much encouragement in this day and age of, social media and just, pressures that are just different from when I grew up. You guys are living in a society where, everything is so electronic and access is so easy, that really makes me, and in some of my observations in dealing with kids, I do feel like one of the things I do see most is that it can potentially cause a lot of self-esteem issues and affect how young women view themselves. And so I think, the advice that I would give without any, clear direction on how you really want me to answer the question would be, um, really just be very mindful that, social media is just there to be social. As a woman, you should not rely on social media to define who you are. You shouldn't look at social media and, compare yourself to other people and other things that you see on social media. And you have to be very careful what you put out there because it stays on social media forever. And so even as a professional in the Wall Street world, we tell people all the time, you got to be careful because anybody can put your name in any one of their many devices and things about you will come up, or your social media pages will come up. And once pictures are out there, once certain things are out there, they're out there forever. So you want to manage your brand, your reputation, and just really, um, be very careful that you are considering the fact that, the world has access to it. So again, manage your brand. Don't use it as a way to compare yourself. Black women, we are beautiful. We have a lot going for us, and I would really just encourage people to really not get caught up in some of the things that social media, how that affects women. I see it all the time here at the dancing school. The girls come in and they're like, "Oh, somebody said a subliminal about me on social media," and next thing they're talking about fighting and this, that, and the other, and we have to manage through all of that. So, really, just to make sure that we don't let social media define who we are just because it's a tool that we use frequently today.
I want to say congratulations. I know you now are with Brookfield Real Estate Group.
Hmm.
Tell me how that is.
That's great. I was at Morgan Stanley for 17 years, and I just made a decision to go to the private side, to the private sector, to still do a very similar job, but to kind of tread new water, and it's been fun. It's really good to occasionally challenge yourself and uh, you know in this particular case it's also nice just to be in a situation where you kind of have an opportunity to test yourself again. I was very comfortable at Morgan Stanley. I probably would have worked there forever if this great opportunity didn't come along, but it's been really good, and I'm in a good position to use all the things that I've learned to do something at a new company, and it's really fun. They own a lot of real estate, $150 billion of real estate, and it's cool to be a part of a company that's doing such great things and growing. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
This has been the Terreros experience.